All right, hello and welcome to Fed Up with Politics,
Woohoo! We're live again.
right here on YouTube. Mike is back with us. We haven't been on YouTube in a while, but Mike went on vacation. He's back with us.
Hello.
Yeah, we haven't been on YouTube because it was short-circuiting on us.
It's frustrating.
Our words were off, so we switched from Facebook because they're doing the same thing to us now.
Drives you nuts. These computers.
Thank God.
But he's Jack. I'm Dennis. And let's stand for a pledge of allegiance.
It's like jumping jacks today.
Give Mike some exercise in.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're also
text Missy, let her know it's on Facebook today.
We're also on your favorite podcast channel at the Hawk
I don't
Podcast.
see it on YouTube yet.
Well, that's no good.
We are here to wake up as many people that want to listen about how politicians have ruined our country, this great country of ours. Before I turn it over to Jack for his censorship of media,
For my quiet, nobody can hear me YouTube.
they can hear you. Just want to let everyone know the primary season has started with the Iowa caucus this past weekend, and it's going to be a fiasco from this day forward.
Did you tell her we're doing it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
These idiot politicians will take up tons of airtime with their stupid commercials about how great they are. Now we should vote them back into office. However, not one of them will tell you anything positive. It'll all be negative ads about how their opponents suck, how their opponents have had a bad marriage, stole money, or did something stupid when they were young. The more slander their challenge, the more they slander their challenger, the better they feel. None of these politicians in office have the right to criticize anyone, for they are the crooks of our country. They're the ones that follow party bosses. They're the ones that benefit from insider trading. They're the ones that don't tell you what we're going to do for the country. They're just going to slander everybody else.
Insider trading.
That's why I say enjoy the gaslights, enjoy the lies and gaslighting as you watch these political ads. And remember, we need to vote different this year. So, Jack, the floor is yours today.
First off, since we've been off of YouTube, we got a book out. Look at that. See that?
Politicians gaslighting Americans.
We got the lines in it. See it?
That's okay.
Politicians gaslighting Americans. The book is out. So, anywho.
I think we're being censored.
Yeah, I think we're being sabotaged tonight. Either that or they took all the satellites. Maybe
Yeah, really. Space Shuttle probably took all the satellites out.
Well, not only that, I mean, they got those operations going on over there at the Red Sea. Maybe they need all our satellites. All right, so we are live. Mike's got this. So, like I said, we had problems with Facebook. So what did the Iowa caucus show us? So first off, what is a caucus? A caucus is a group that vote in their boards, elected officials, whatever, but it's a group thing. It's a caucus, and they do it. It's not like a regular primary like New Hampshire is. New Hampshire is always the first primary of the year for the country. Nobody's ever objected to it, so they have kept it doing it. If you try and become a primary before New Hampshire, they'll just make it earlier. And they don't care how early. They'll make it the year before. Doesn't matter.
In New Hampshire, does everybody vote? Democrats?
That's the problem with New
Independents,
Hampshire, but that's
Republicans?
their state. You can have independents, you can have anybody voting for it. You know, we have a big problem right now because throughout the country, because like New York, if you're a Democrat, you can't vote in a Republican primary. But the Democrats don't have anybody to vote for the primary, so they can register as a Republican and vote in the primary, and then go vote Democrat during the election.
South Carolina, you don't have to put whether you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Right, but you're only allowed to vote for one primary,
Right.
which there will be that this year because apparently the Democratic Party is not putting a primary against their. Well, they'll put a primary; they have to, but it seems like not only Trump's the one that's not the only one being taken off the ballot. It seems like his Democratic opponents are also. So anyway, what did the caucus showed us. It showed us that CNN and MSNBC showed how they are censoring Americans from one major political party of this country. CNN, number one. At least they started Trump's speech when he won in Iowa. However, as soon as he started and they started talking, they came over and said, well, you can hear the winner of the Iowa caucus speaking below my voice, speaking about his hate speech of migration. So we're going to not play it. So they lied about what he said because his speech was very inclusive. And so,
They're censoring.
well, yeah, they're censoring. And why did they censor it? Because they're afraid that their listeners hear the truth
Right.
from the horse's mouth. You know, if they hear what Trump is saying. MSNBC didn't even play any of Trump's speech. It's the same reason as CNN. So MSNBC said, if there's anything in it that we think, literally the words that she used, Maddow, whatever her name is, if we think there's anything in there that you should hear, we'll let you know.
Huh.
That's what they said.
Well, that's what Google and Facebook do. It's their opinion on whether they should be voiced or not. If they don't like it, they delete it.
So Biden stated live in one of his speeches that he understands power. But I tell you what, he doesn't know what power in a good way. He only knows it in tyranny. He said it in one of his things. So here's what I'm saying about this. So the more you wonder why Trump is leading in the polls, and this is why. These media outlets made this whole thing up with Trump. They made Trump. Between. So the more they lie, and people hear the truth, their credibility is lost. So they have lied about COVID, the border, the economy, Ukraine, Israel, two-tier justice system, January 6th, the Russian. They did all of this.
These media companies have no credibility.
No.
None of them.
So when we find out about it as a truth, they lose it. So it builds outrage in us. So now it's like, holy shit, this man has been wronged. Look what they did to this guy.
Yep.
They made this Trump catastrophe that they have because they can't stop. They know that they're going to get caught. They know that the American people are going to find out about it, but it's like looking at the sun. They can't blink. They just keep doing it over and over and over again. You know, and then they start insulting us. The Democratic Party, too, both of them. The Democratic Party and these mainstream press guys are singing the same chants. I mean, they're talking about these radical MAGA Republicans. You know what MAGA stands for? Make America Great Again.
What's so bad about
Wow.
that?
You animal, you want to make America great again. Are you insane? I mean, I'm thinking most people want their country to be good. And that's why Trump is going through the hemisphere in these polls. Because Trump was made by the press. And we were just fortunate enough to have a guy that when he gets hit, he counterpunches.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've heard this description before, but his bark has a loud bite. And they created this man, and they cannot stop. They cannot stop. And now they've gotten it so over the top that now he is Hitler. And not only is he Hitler, but the people that are in his corner are the SS.
Yep.
So now all of them have to be eliminated at all costs, at no matter what they have to say. And unfortunately, the rest of the Republican Party is not up to par with Trump as far as fighting back to these Democrats.
Well, they
They
could have been
folded on on funding the government. But now it's funded until March because Mark Johnson caved in.
Yeah, I was going to say that
Did
they
he?
have caved
I didn't
in.
see that. That happened today?
Yeah,
They have
I
caved
didn't
in
see it.
on most things. They
They've caved
don't
in
know
everything.
what to fight.
They've
but he
caved
lost another
in.
20 votes from he did from the last one.
That's
So he
amazing.
keeps on
right?
losing Republican votes.
Well, here it is. So they've caved so much that they're down to a one-person majority.
Yeah.
In less than a year.
Unbelievable.
So, well, no, it's been more than a year now. So I mean, the Republican Party is floundering. Instead of just picking, listen, the new Republican Party is a nationalist. It's a nationalist party. It believes in America. Make America great is its slogan now. It is the slogan from here on. And if you can't agree with that, and if you can't fight against the other party to correct the course of this country, then get out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're just ruining.
Yeah, but the Republicans aren't trying to correct the course either. It's all
That's what I'm talking about.
You know,
I mean, this is your new Republican Party that you're signed up on. You know, it was like when Reagan didn't like the Democratic Party, he left.
Yep.
Went to the Republican Party, which is insane because we've read Kennedy's inaugural speech, and he sounds like a Republican. Lower taxes, America's great. We're going to get to the moon. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And if that's the Democratic Party that Reagan left, he'd be flying out of this Republican Party because it's left of that.
Yeah, I always said the Democrats today are not the Democrats I grew up knowing.
There are no Republicans and there are no Democrats. There's a few folks, and you want to know something? You know, if you try and be, it's almost hysterical to me that if you're a Republican, you know what they call you? A conservative. If you're a mainstream, when I grew up, Republican, right down regular, the Republican Party that I grew up with, if you're considered that, you're a conservative.
Yeah.
You know, we've been telling people for 2 years now that there's only one party.
Yeah.
That these politicians are terrible. And people are starting to wake up, but not enough.
The press is just as bad, though.
The
I mean,
press
what they're
sucks.
doing.
They should be thrown out too.
Yeah.
I know it's in the Constitution, but start calling the shots on what's going on. Don't have your opinion on it. I don't want to hear what your opinion is. Just give me what you need to know and let me make an educated decision on who I want to pick. I don't need the media to tell me, oh, I got to vote for Biden. Oh, I got to vote for Trump. I got to vote for Republican. I got to vote for Democrat. Screw you.
Remember,
We all suck.
I liked it when they used to have that "we report, you decide."
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
And that's the news. What's his name? Walter Harvey, you know? Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey.
And that's the news. One of the last greats.
Paul Harvey, he spoke at my graduation in Utah.
High school or college?
High school.
Oh yeah.
My senior year.
No kidding.
Nice.
Yeah,
He
was
used to
that
be big back then. Paul
Oh, yeah.
Harvey, you know?
way back when that's all there was radio. Mike
we're
used to
talking
listen to
about-
radio like this.
So since we're talking about the media and censorship, I want to talk about the qualifications to run for political office, which is spelled right out in the Constitution. Let's just stick on the president. Pretty much all the same, you know.
I've lost my Constitution.
You lost it.
I don't know what I did with it. I didn't
You
leave
got
it
to
here,
be
did I?
home. No, you didn't. I know.
I was hoping that was my last straw.
So to run for president of the United States, you got to be a natural born citizen of the United States, be at least 35 years old, a United States resident for 14 years. They do that for the people, the
Yeah.
Americans that are born overseas, because a lot of our military personnel is still in different countries. So those people are still United States citizens, but you have to be here for 14 years. So the framers appear to have adopted the requirement that citizens be natural born citizens to ensure that the president's loyalties would lie strictly in the United States, with the United States. By barring naturalized citizens from the presidency, the requirement of being a natural born citizen, this came from Justice Story, one of the Supreme Court judges, explained, protects the United States from ambitious foreigners. What do we got coming over today? Ambitious foreigners who might otherwise be intriguing for the office and interposes a barrier against those corrupt interferences of foreign governments in executive elections. What's going on right now? Russians interfered in 2016, 2020. Chinese 2020. Who else?
I think they did it in 2016 too.
Well, I'm sure they did. They do it in every election. That's why we need to read the Constitution. That's why we need to learn it, like the back of your hand. Because these people are taking money from foreign governments, not just the president, not just Democrats, but Republicans as well. You know, while the Constitution does not define natural-born citizen, commentators have it opined that the framers would have understood the term to mean someone who was a U.S. citizen at birth with no need to go through the naturalization proceedings at some later time.
Yeah, if you don't think that Republicans are taking money from national countries, talk to Mitch McConnell.
Right? You know, through the Constitution, it seems pretty simple to run for office. However, these simple-minded morons in Congress, you like that?
Yeah.
Like that simple-minded morons in
A
Congress.
couple more sips out of that glass, you won't
I'll
be
be
able to say that.
I'll be
sentence.
talking earlier.
I
Throughout the years have made it nearly impossible for any individual to run for any type of office. In order to get on the ballot, candidate for president must meet a variety of complex state-specific filing requirements and deadlines. These regulations, known as ballot access laws, determine whether a candidate or party will appear on the election ballot. These laws are set at the state level.
So everyone's different.
Everyone's different. A presidential candidate must prepare to meet ballot access requirements well in advance of any primary, caucus, and the general election. Y'all know my feelings about Republicans and Democrats and the need to start fresh this year with independent candidates, people who care about the Constitution, people who care about this country. But everyone who plans on running for political office, like Jack is this year, is required to collect signatures, no matter what party you're with or whether you're running as an independent. For independents, like Jack's going to be, collecting signatures varies in each state. Current politicians make it very hard for a person to collect signatures. Example, California, a candidate would need 219,400 signatures to run as an independent for president. And then the candidates can get challenged by those other candidates running against them.
Yep.
So they get challenged by Republicans and Democrats to keep them off the ballot, like the conspiracy stuff that we heard today with the no labels going on. They filed a motion with the district attorney, the attorney general, to have these other Republican and Democrat parties for conspiring to keep them off the ballots. In Florida, that number is over 145,000. Again, making it impossible for any individual to run. Some states like Kansas and Iowa have smaller numbers, 5,000, 3,000. Makes it more realistic.
Mm.
But then you have to file in dates and declare that you're running for office. If you don't collect your signatures, if they don't look right, everything gets challenged by these freaking parties because they want a monopoly on you people.
They have a monopoly on us.
We're letting it happen. Then on top of that, if you're running for office, running for president, you have to pay a filing fee, which is different in every state. And that when you have to pay in each state that you want to run in. So some states are $5,000, some states are $8,000, some states are $10,000, some states are $500 to run. But you have to pay that in every single state you're going to get ballot access on. That's why the Republicans and Democrats do so well. Because they've been screwing us for so long.
Can I ask a question?
They made it a monopoly.
Do they have to? The Republicans and Democrats?
Yeah,
They
but they
have to go for
rigged
that?
it because they got the money because
Why is the state charging them?
Well,
I don't understand.
because what happens is the states are supposed to run these. They're supposed to run these elections.
but they don't.
So they're supposed to get, that's what the fees are for. But here's where the Republican Party and the Democrat, they have the GOP and the DNC. They do all of that for you. If you're a small group that don't have that, how are you supposed to do that?
How are you supposed to get 219,000 votes?
And
In
what I'm saying
California,
is,
and you're on the East Coast.
you got all of these states,
They,
and
you know,
you have to do it.
I tell you what, this should go to court for a monopoly. These part. You know what? That might be the easiest way to break up these. Bring them to court for monopolies. You only have two, and you've made it impossible for anybody else to compete with you.
That's a monopoly.
It needs to be broken it up and disbanded. Now everybody's got to go out there and do that.
Yeah.
See how many incumbents go out there dragging their ass. Can I have your signature? Yeah.
Well, I was going to mention that too. It never used to be an 8-year term for a president. It used to be, as long as he gets voted in, he's in. He could do 3 terms or 4 terms.
Back in the
And
day.
then they got nervous, so they made it 8 years. Why can't they do that the same with the Congress?
Well,
They can.
I mean, they can. And if you think about it, in the Constitution, they didn't write out that it's term limits. But if they didn't believe in term limits when they wrote the Constitution, they wouldn't have put how many years you were supposed to be.
Why
there.
would they say 4
2,
years?
4, 6 years. If they didn't think that you should have some sort of term limit on that, they would have never put any time frame on it. It would have just been you're a representative, you're a senator, you're a president.
Like you hear me talk. I mean, we've all talked about this the last 2 years. We need to stand united. We need to form a coalition. Every group that we're connected with right here on Facebook.
Right.
You start right there.
Mhm.
There's no reason why this can't be achieved. Put away your egos and say we'll fight this together. Because we can't win alone. Our group can't win. Libertarians can't win. I can mention 100 groups that are on Facebook. Independents can't win. Liberals can't win. Conservatives can't win. And no labels, I can't see how to win because they're really not a no labels. You can't be a no labels when you have a freaking party moniker next to your name. I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we're going no labels. Can't be. Putting away our egos, folks. The laws that these politicians have created to keep Americans away from politics is insane. For nowhere does it say in the Constitution that a candidate needs signatures or must pay a filing fee. This is just a game set up by Congress and the states to keep people off the ballots. So these 2 lackluster, no good political parties can remain in power. Jack just said it was a monopoly. They always break up monopolies. Why don't we break them up?
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, everyone. We need this coalition right here. Hundreds and hundreds of groups on Facebook doing basically the same thing we are, trying to wake people up.
I tell you what, they'll never break up on a monopoly again because that's their special interest. I mean, they brought Microsoft to court and he won.
Yep.
And if he's not a monopoly,
He won almost everything that was brought to court with him.
yeah. So they're not going to break up into monopolies anymore, and that's why you have these things like Google and Amazon and
Amazon.
no. Go ahead.
Reach out to your administrators and other groups that you're associated with. Tell them we need to go together. We need to come together before we lose. Keep your same group name. Keep the same group. Let's start a group where we all come together so we win as a country, like an umbrella. We talked about that before. Where we help each other get on the ballot to make changes that are desperately needed. Again, standing together under one umbrella would send shockwaves through politics. I think congressmen would finally realize their time is about to end. If we don't do this now, when? It's going to be too late down the road. We need to come together under one umbrella. It could be the United States Constitutional Group. It can be the Independent Constitutional Group. It can be Independent Constitutional Group. It can be United States Patriots Group. It can be anything. Just form together under this. Come together. Say, you know what? Those guys are right. Let's put this shit together. Let's freaking throw these assholes out of office because they don't need to be here. They've ruined this country long enough. Jack?
All right. My last thing I got tonight is so we made it to our first caucus and we haven't even gone through the first primary yet. And we have 2 major channels
That we feel
that censored everything about the Republican Party. They're saying the banks are now monitoring Republicans, monitoring what they feel is right-wing stores like Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's. They're watching what you're doing. They're monitoring you. They're waiting to drop the hammer. But in the next 11 months, the lies are going to be so unbelievable. Hollywood is going to be like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that. Holy mackerel, that is genius. So be prepared. And there was literally, I think he's from the Washington Post. I'm not sure. But this one journalist actually said that if you do your own research, as we tell you to do every day, it is a guarantee. It's a guaranteed way of being wrong. In other words, what he's saying is, if you don't listen to us, you're wrong. So start doing your own research, buckle up, and watch these lies. Watch them. It's hysterical and sad at the same time. It's tragic and it's unbelievable. And the last thing I got to say is here we are, politicians gaslighting Americans. $17, Durance.com. It's on all the other
E-Kindle, $12.
Yep, $12 for that. Amazon, go on all of them, but Durance Publishing, the store, go right to it. It's on. We have a website, politiciansgaslightingamericans.com. That has on there about the authors. You go right to the store and buy it. It's a 3-page webpage. Fedupwithpolitics.com, our website. You click on that, it brings you right to the link to buy it. $17.
Hold on, bring it back. I'm having trouble. I got to reset the link.
In a little while.
I got to reset the link. I've been having trouble with the website lately.
All right. So anyway, fed up gaslighting, politicians gaslighting Americans.com. Go on that website. Durancebookstore.com, Amazon, all of them. They all have it. It is not in bookstores yet, but hopefully that time will be coming. Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million, we're trying to get them in there. So do us a favor, buy the book.
Mike, I think.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, it's coming from this book that I've been reading. It's called Gaslighting, Politicians Gaslighting Americans.
Got one.
He did. He bought it.
Good for him.
On page 30.
I told you, I didn't give him to any family or nothing.
On page 30, Guyna, she kind of said something that reminded me about something. She was mentioning that a lot of people quoting freedom of speech are thinking that they can say whatever the heck they want. That's not what that's there for. It's there to protect you from our government cracking down on whatever you say.
Suppressing your speech.
And what they're doing today, folks, anytime you hear about a safe space in a university, that's government run. They get money from the government. Anytime you hear Facebook or Google, they're getting money from the government. That's getting rid of your freedom of speech because they're limiting what you say. They only say it's free speech when you agree with them. But if you don't agree with them, then they call it hate speech or racist, or you're not allowed to say that. This is a quiet zone or a safe zone.
Well, I tell you the truth, Mike. What it's saying worse than that, which chapter 5 you said on is
I didn't get up there yet.
Media outlets, but more than that is they're suppressing what you can hear.
Yeah.
Here's a safe zone, so now you can go in that safe zone and not hear that.
Right.
You know,
you can hear what we're saying.
Yeah, you can hear our opinion of
right.
it.
So that's the government limiting your freedom of speech. That's what you're losing, folks.
Listen, folks, I'm a little upset with my hair and makeup guy. It's looking a little flat today.
Got a good bowling shirt on though. Did you win?
Listen,
the bowl good?
This is my New Year's Eve black and gold shirt.
Oh, I thought it was a bowling
All right,
shirt.
this is my classy. I'm going out. Bowling shirt.
We're going out to dinner tomorrow night, aren't we?
We're going out. Got to celebrate this book. We sold some books.
Grumpy Monk.
Grumpy Monks. Oh, shit.
If anybody's in the South Carolina area, want to go to Grumpy Monks, we'll be there. 501.
501. Bring your book. We'll sign it.
At 5 o'clock.
For $10. I got to pay the bill somehow. No, I'm only kidding. We would sign it for free.
Whoa.
Ish.
You should have a little tip jar there.
Yeah, right.
So, Mike, you want to lead us in prayer?
It's about time you did something.
You've been gone a month.
Jeez, Louise.
Surprised you know how to lead us in prayer anymore.
I got to get better glasses though. Let me see.
Yeah,
Try these
maybe
ones.
it's just the head it's hanging on.
There we go. Matthew 23:12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Let's pray. Father, humility is not considered much of an advantage in today's world. Instead, we are expected to be self-confident and aggressive, to push our way ahead of others to get a better job, to be an instant expert. Even if we have to fake it, we hear humility is for losers. As Christians, we know this type of life is not what you want for us. It's not what we want for ourselves either. Whenever we feel pressure to exalt ourselves above others, remind us that our worth is found in you alone. Teach us to serve, to love, to be honest, to put the needs of others first, to live humble but blessed lives. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Wow, that was a prayer from a guy that wasn't here for a month for sure.
Yep. So read your Constitution, read the Declaration of Independence, read your history about this country. Because you know what? We're starting to repeat it, and it's not good.
And some of your history is in the Bible.
Yep.
Yep.
One of the greatest documents
Some
ever
of your
written
futures in the Bible, too.
was the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
Man,
It don't take long to read. It's only 36 pages. So remember, read.
That's what your Bill of Rights do,
Yep.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, folks.
which is also in this book.
Is the Constitution in here too?
Yeah.
Very good.
So hope everyone has a good weekend. Have a good week. And hopefully we'll be back on Facebook next week. I think we're being censored tonight
I think so.
because things are just annoying me the last couple of weeks with how slow it's been going.
We showed them though. We come over here to YouTube.
Hopefully you guys don't freaking censor us too.
Mm.
It's not right, America. It's not right when you're getting censored. So have a good week, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Good job.
Bye.
Hey, we pulled it off.
Yeah, good job.